The Luna UST crash. What caused it? One of my TikTok viewers asked me to deconstruct what happened to the Luna UST collapse. The collapse was directly related to the curve three-pool war, and I think it boils down to arrogance and a lack of humility. Let me explain. First, Kwon was behind an earlier failed stablecoin called Basis Cash. This was an algorithmic stablecoin project that was founded by the anonymous Rick and Morty in 2020. According to an article on CoinDesk, Kwon is reported to be Rick. Kwon didn't know whether or not Basis Cash would work, but he wanted to test it. And the test was a failure. Basis Cash was never able to hold its peg to the US dollar. So Kwon knew the fragility of algorithmic stablecoins. Earlier this year, he proposed to back UST with a Luna Foundation guard composed of $10 billion in Bitcoin reserves. If Luna could buy Bitcoin at a low price, and if the price of Bitcoin rose, the Luna Foundation guard could have a powerful reserve asset in the event that UST began to lose its peg against the US dollar. In late March, the Luna Foundation guard started buying BTC, Bitcoin, to help back UST. Next, the arrogance comes to a head. First of all, Kwon on March the 15th makes a $10 million bet that the Luna price would be higher than it is today a year from now, followed by another $1 million bet. Second, Kwon announced a curve pool, a new curve pool against curve 3 pool. The curve 4 pool would be composed of FRAX and UST, also USDT and USDC. This was a frontal assault against the curve 3 pool and against DAI stablecoin. UST had already surpassed DAI in terms of market cap, and now Kwon was trying to put the nail in the coffin of DAI and put additional pressure on DAI. The new heavily incentivized 4 pool would exclude DAI. Rather, it would only contain UST, FRAX, USDC, and USDT. The explicit goal of Terra's aggressive move was to starve the 3 pool of liquidity, which could prove damaging to DAI's stability and attractiveness. On March 23rd, Kwon tweeted, "By my hand, DAI will die." Attacking DAI was a big mistake. On April the 1st, Terra Labs announced that it was going to create this 4 pool. Terra and FRAX will concentrate stablecoin liquidity across 4 pools on every major chain via Curve. They also announced that FRAX and Terra are the 2 largest protocol holders of CVX, with over $3.6 million of CVX cumulatively. So through partnerships, Terra Labs was going to offer a much higher CRV rewards than on the Curve 3 pool. The goal was to ensure deep liquidity for the now allied algorithmic stablecoins UST and FRAX, and to starve DAI for liquidity. On May the 8th, in anticipation of the 4 pool, the Luna Foundation guard removed $150 million in UST from the UST 3 pool. Basically, there was a factory liquidity pool which pairs 3 pool with UST, so it's UST plus 3 pool. Basically, on the same day that they pulled $150 million of UST out of the UST plus 3 pool, the attacker started draining UST from the UST 3 pool. Unaware of the attack, the Luna Foundation guard removed another $100 million in UST from the UST 3 pool. This starts the depegging of UST from the US dollar. On Coinbase, UST fell to 94 cents. With the curve liquidity pool drained, the attacker started selling UST on Binance. Now, Binance tried to take action, but soon withdrawals from Anchor started. And the depeg began to happen in earnest. Binance tried to take action, but soon withdrawals from Anchor started. Very soon after that, there was panic in the system. The major depeg happened on Monday, May 9th, as people fled for the exits. By Wednesday, May 11th, UST was 30 cents, and investors had lost confidence. On-Chain Wizard on Twitter speculates that the attacker probably had a huge short position on Bitcoin because he knew that the Luna Foundation Guard would have to sell $3 billion in Bitcoin to defend the UST peg, and this is entirely possible. But it seems clear that the reason for the failure of UST and Luna was due to arrogance and a lack of humility. If Terra Labs didn't have enough UST to kick off the Curve 4 pool without draining the UST 3 pool liquidity, they should have shut down the UST 3 pool before they launched the 4 pool. On May the 8th, removing $250 million in UST liquidity from the UST 3 pool was a big mistake. It enabled an attacker to launch an attack against UST liquidity. So basically, before UST and FRAX could team up and launch an attack against DAI, somebody beat them to the punch. Somebody attacked UST before they could attack DAI. And they used exactly the same tactics. They attacked in exactly the same way. So basically, before UST and FRAX could team up and attack DAI and the 3 pool, UST was attacked in exactly the same way that they were planning to attack DAI, namely by draining the liquidity on UST 3 pool and draining the liquidity of UST on Binance. The attacker was able to start the depeg of UST from the US dollar, and the attacker was able to start a bank run on UST and on Luna. Is this karma? I don't know if it's karma, but I'll close with a proverb. Pride goes before destruction, arrogance before a fall. It's better to be humble than to divide the spoils with the arrogant. On Friday, May 13th, 2022, Terra UST and Luna was delisted from Binance and OKX. I'm definitely feeling the pain. I lost money just like everybody else did in this project. And so I would like to help. I've decided to offer a free group coaching. Today I'm opening registration to apply for my free group coaching program. I call it the VIP groups for VIP members. To apply to my VIP coaching group, just go to the URL at the top. It's bitfolio.biz/VIP. I'm offering you a valuable resource to help you get through these tough times. Whether you're a beginner or an advanced crypto investor, please apply. All the best.